Nifty was up around 30%. So in a particular financial year, I think this is one of the highest gain after 10-12 years. अगर वो कोविड वाला एक जो वॉलेटाइल साल निकाल दे कि जिसमें अब रिबाउंड हुआ और वापस ऊपर आ गया. So bearing that, this is one of the best year for the markets. And not only on the Nifty gaining around 29-30%, but even the broader market. So the main, the momentum, the gains were in the mid cap and the small cap space. There are multiple stocks, you name a stock and there are multiple ideas that have given 60, 70, 80, 100, 200, 300, 400%, 500% return in the same financial year. So this was an excellent year for the market. And we are glad that you guys were with us during this excellent year, and our model portfolio outperformed all the key major indexes, Nifty, small cap, mid cap, and we are glad that you guys were with us in this journey of outperformance. Okay, so if you look at the current setup, in this particular financial year, let me do some annotation for you. Nifty started at a low. The financial year एकदम low पे start किया था Nifty ने. March में low बनाया था. Then it started the move from the first week of April itself, and somewhere from around 17,000 level to we closed around 22 400 500. Okay. So this has been an excellent rally. Okay, for the full year. Now during this rally, I think there was a continuous rally till July, then some volatility in the month of August, September, as well as the October. After making a low in the October, the game began again, and we went right from 18,800 to 22,200. This was an excellent pace for the market. And again, some choppiness, but broadly we are holding the 50 DMA. ये red line जो यहाँ पे आपको दिख रही है, that is the 50 DMA, and that's what matters as of now in this market. We are holding it quite well. So multiple attempts, at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attempts to breach the 50 DMA since last 2 to 3 months, but the market successfully, was able to manage all those instances and rebounded from the 50 DMA. So now we are trading comfortably about 21 and 50 DMA. Today we came very close to all time high. अभी market uptrend under pressure है, ये सब volatility की वजह से, ठीक है. But आज क्या हुआ कि 526 के बहुत करीब आ गया. Market was very close to, it made a high of I think 516, just 10 points below the all time high. So once we cross this all time high 526.7 का, then the market status shifts to confirmed uptrend. हम फिर से कंफर्म अप ट्रेंड में चले जाएंगे. अभी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन डे काफी कंट्रोल में है, so there is no worry major about distribution days in the market. Okay, and the Nifty has been trading really well above all the key moving averages. So now what's the most important for Nifty in the next financial year, in the first 1 or 2 week? Okay, closing above the previous all-time high, that is 2256, उसके ऊपर बंद होना बहुत crucial हो जाएगा निफ्टी के लिए. On the flip side, I think this 50 DMA might give a really good support to the index. The first, now we have also reclaimed 21 today. So 22,150 के अराउंड का जो 21 DMA है and 21,950. So 21,900 से 22,200 वाला जो जोन है ना, 21,900 to 22,100, 150, that becomes very crucial on the downside, and it looks like we might hold that for the April series. But if we breach that, then we might see some bit of further correction, because already multiple attempt मार दिया है हमने कि ये 50 DMA को पकड़ने का. ठीक है, अभी एक बार और अटेम्प्ट लेते हैं 50 DMA को बचने का और वो हम टूट जाते हैं, then we might see some 3 to 5% fall at a index level. Otherwise, this level might give a good support, 21,900 to 22,100. On the higher side, 22,500, 25, 30 के ऊपर बंद होना crucial हो जाएगा निफ्टी के लिए. But the good part is the distribution day is under control. If you look at the mid cap index, Here also, there was a very good momentum this year. सिर्फ ये एक दो महीना निकाल दो ना, ये सितंबर अक्टूबर वाला, तो बहुत जोरदार था। 29,000 के लो से सीधा 50,000 ऑलमोस्ट। ठीक है, but still, still yesterday the mid cap index was trading below its 50 DMA. But if you consider today's level, अगर हम आज का क्लोजिंग देखते हैं, which is आज का 50 DMA है 48,100, एंड वी आर एग्जैक्टली एट दैट लेवल। 48,100 के अराउंड ही हमारा क्लोजिंग मिला है। सो नेक्स्ट वीक फॉर मिड कैप इंडेक्स द फोकस विल बी ऑन रिक्लेमिंग द 50 डीएमए, और 50 डीएमए रिक्लेम करने के बाद द सेकेंड थिंग टू वॉच आउट विल बी दिस 49,500 टू 50,000 वाला जोन। क्या हम वहां के ऊपर जा सकते हैं या नहीं इन अप्रैल एंड मई? दैट विल बी द एरिया ऑफ फोकस फॉर द मिड कैप इंडेक्स। If you look at the small cap, here also, sorry, we are trading below the key moving averages. Only concern that over here is like in the recent rally, जब ये 14,085 से ये पूरा लास्ट 2 वीक में रैली हुआ मिड कैप में, तब यहाँ पे थोड़ा वॉल्यूम ड्राई अप। बट ऑन द फ्लिप साइड, यहाँ जब गिरा तब भी वॉल्यूम लो ही था। सो ओवरऑल द वॉल्यूम एक्टिविटी हैज बीन लो, so you don't get an exact idea based on the volume, price volume action के how the things are. The focus should be on the 21 and 50 reclaiming on a higher volume. अभी दो चीज सिर्फ माइंड में रखना है स्मॉल कैप इंडेक्स के लिए: 21 रिक्लेम करना हाई वॉल्यूम पे, 50 डीएमए रिक्लेम करना हाई वॉल्यूम पे। ओके, so let's move ahead for a few sectors and then we go to stock specific queries. So if you look at the banking sector, it is a bit choppy. So there was a good rally in the first half of the financial year 24, but then there was some choppy time for the bank nifty. It actually underperformed. जिस तरह से निफ्टी मिड कैप स्मॉल कैप ये सब चला है, उस हिसाब से बैंक निफ्टी का अंडर परफॉर्मेंस दिखा। However, it made a good high around 48,500 in December, and since then it is struggling to again reclaim that high. इसने 50 डीएमए देखो ब्रीच कर दिया, and then it tested its 200 डीएमए। 200 डीएमए में दो तीन बार चार बार बहुत बार ये फाइट मारा। अभी ये वाला अगर आप पेज देखें ना, फेब्रुआरी वाला, तो पूरा 200 डीएमए पे फाइट मार लिया इसने, and then it again resumed the rally, pull back to 50 DMA. Now again it is trying to reclaim its 21 DMA. Overall, PSU Bank did really well this time. The strength in the balance sheet, okay, the way the NIMs had expanded for the PSU Bank, उनका profitability बढ़ रहा था। प्राइवेट बैंक में थोड़ा प्रेशर था। अगर आप निम देखें तो अभी के लिए तो अच्छा था, फॉर FY24 इट वाज गुड, बट देयर इज a little pressure expected for the coming few quarters. Not a major concern, but a little concern for the private banks as far as the NIM is concerned. बिकॉज जो डिपॉजिट ग्रोथ और क्रेडिट ग्रोथ का बैलेंस है वो थोड़ा बिगड़ा हुआ है। डिपॉजिट्स इतना कम आ रहा है रिलेटिवली, एंड जो क्रेडिट ग्रोथ है वो काफी ज्यादा है, स्पेशली फॉर द बैंक्स लाइक HDFC बैंक। सो वहां पे थोड़ा जो मिसमैच हो रहा है उसकी वजह से जो कॉस्ट ऑफ फंड है वो ऊपर जा रहा है बैंक के लिए, एंड दैट इज द रीजन लाइक देयर मार्जिन्स आर a little under pressure and impacting the stock price. It was a really good year for the auto. No looking back for the auto stocks. The index almost doubled. 12,000 के अराउंड था 29-30 मार्च को लास्ट ईयर, and it almost went up to 21,300 400 mark, and it is trading near its all-time high. During the entire financial year, it never breached its 50 DMA. हर बार 50 DMA पे इसको अच्छा सपोर्ट मिला और वहां से रिबाउंड होके भाग गया। The stocks like the Maruti, Hero, Tata Motor, one of the biggest gainer in the auto sector, M&M. So it was the contribution from all the major stock, even not only particularly auto, but the auto ancillaries also did really well. And I think looking at the setup, the way auto ancillary is going, it might give another good phase. बिकॉज जिस तरह से OEMs बढ़े हैं, आई थिंक उस तरह से जो अदर एंसिलरी स्टॉक्स हैं ऑटो के, उसमें इतना मोमेंटम नहीं आया. बट लुक्स लाइक द रिप्लेसमेंट डिमांड, द न्यू डिमांड दैट विल कम अप अगेन, एंड वहां पे भी एक अच्छा मोमेंटम बन सकता है. सो दैट एरिया कैन बी looked at. Otherwise, there has been an excellent rally in the auto index. Realty, no two ways about this. One of the best year, the highest gainer, I think 370 का इंडेक्स का लो था लास्ट ईयर मार्च एंडिंग में, and it went up to almost more than 900, 935, 36. So this has been one of the top gainer. No breaching of 50 DMA. Recently हुआ था एक आध हफ्ते के लिए, otherwise पूरे साल में 50 DMA breach नहीं हुआ था. Again, it reclaimed its key moving averages and trying to move higher. The way the organized player in the realty sectors are getting momentum, especially metro में, tier 1 tier 2 cities में जो भी organized player है, उनके projects की demand अगर आप देखें, a clear disclaimer that whatever I'm discussing on index and stock front is just for the knowledge purpose. So if I name any stock, any index, any level, that's for educational purpose only. So if you look at the stocks like the DLF, उनके जो projects हैं नॉर्थ में, उनकी डिमांड देखो, शोभा के लिए, मैक्रो टेक डेवलपर्स का है वो. तो the demand has been excellent. There's no two way about it. They are getting some higher realization. जो नए प्रोजेक्ट लॉन्चेस है वो काफी सक्सेसफुल है, एंड दैट्स व्हाट ऑल गेटिंग प्राइस्ड इन ओवर हियर. If you look at FMCG, I think this one had a bad phase. Not bad, but it went just sideways. First half काफी अच्छा था FMCG stocks के लिए. Particularly ITC was leading the pack and few others were supporting it. But in the second half, the ITC पूरा ठंडा पड़ गया, और FMCG में जो थोड़ा अर्निंग्स पे प्रेशर बनने लगा, जो रूरल डिमांड है वो पिकअप ही नहीं हो रही थी. सो सिंस मैनी इयर्स, अभी जो भी लास्ट ईयर या फर्स्ट हाफ में रैली हुई थी, दैट वाज फोकस ऑन द अर्बन डिमांड, द ग्रोथ इन द अर्बन डिमांड, एंड सम प्राइसिंग इन ऑफ ग्रोथ इन द रूरल डिमांड, बट दैट हैज नॉट केम येट. थोड़े जो गवर्नर के स्टेटमेंट है, गवर्नमेंट के बाकी स्टेटमेंट है, थोड़े ऐसा लग रहा है कि अभी इम्प्रूव होने लगा है rural demand, but still it is not getting reflected for this bigger FMCG names. I think if this year the monsoon is expected to be a decent one, a normal one. So if we get a good monsoon, good rains, and the crops grow well and fetch a good price, then I think second half of after Diwali के बाद वाला जो भी क्वार्टर है, उसमें FMCG कंपनी के लिए काफी अच्छा बिजनेस हो सकता है, if even this year rainy season goes well without any major damage to the crops and the farmers get good price. The index is trying to get support near 200 DMA and failing to reclaim its 21 and 50 DMA. After a couple of 2 to 3 weak years, the IT sector finally tried to move higher, especially the large cap ITs. लास्ट 2 साल में भी जो मिड कैप स्पेस था आईटी में, उसमें इतना प्रॉब्लम नहीं दिखा था, because the small ticket size project were really going well. But if you look at the larger ticket size project, which are for the TCS, Wipro, Infy, HCL Tech, वहां पे थोड़ा दिक्कत हो रहा था. बट नाउ द थिंग्स आर गेटिंग बैक टू नॉर्मल. अभी जिस तरह से यूएस में रेट हाइक पॉज हो गया है, एंड देयर इज अ टॉक ऑफ कटिंग द रेट्स, 3 rate cuts are expected in this year itself. Okay, even after no no change in stance, this जो ये वाली फैड मीटिंग थी उसमें, so there are 3 rate cuts expected in this year, and so that's bit positive for the IT stocks. But broadly, still the demand, the more order book yet to come from the big companies in the US and the Europe, which is the major market for our leading IT players. But overall, the situations are getting under the control. Margin फिर से hold कर रहा है, and there are expectations that the second half of calendar year might be good for the IT companies. So if you look at the metal stocks, here also there was a good momentum. The demand for the steel, the ferrous, non-ferrous metals, both in the India is good. The realization is decent. Okay, there is a bit dumping from the Chinese side. वहां से demand अभी भी कम है. चाइना में जो growth का issues है, that is still lingering around, and some dumping in the global market. इतना price बढ़ नहीं रहा है, steel का especially. But then also the Indian firms are getting a decent realization for the steels. Plus the domestic demand is very robust, and that's what helping these companies. So broadly, this index is also trading above its key moving averages, and the focus is over here is also reclaiming the fresh high. So now let's move to your questions. Now in this room we have uh, our head of research, Mr. Mayuresh Joshi, and my colleague Wakar and Rajshekhar are also in this meeting. So we'll try to answer as many questions as possible, turn by turn, all three of us, and we'll take your queries one by one. Please do not keep reposting it multiple times, okay? Because it's a live session. To scroll back is not that easy. So just post it once. We'll try to answer as many as possible. Okay, so the floor is open for all of you guys. Welcome, Raj and Wakar.
Thank you, Rushit. Thank you. I'll start with the queries. Waiting for the list now. Okay, let's start it. So one, can you give me CDSL? After that, HDFC Bank, then Deep Industries. CDSL first. Thank you. So, as you guys are seeing, the stock was making a double bottom base. It did break out, but post the breakout is, we all know, markets, especially broader markets in terms of mid caps and small caps, were under tremendous pressure, and that is why you can see the stock coming down. Apart from a couple of days, there was no major days where probably the stock was under distribution pressure. So I'm not seeing that at this moment. But the only issue is this stock is not showing signs of strength as well. RS line is going down. Plus, the stock is trading below all its key moving averages at this moment. So someone who probably had taken an entry when the stock had broken out was probably would have been shaken out at this moment, because we are more than 10% down from the pivot at this moment. But considering the overall dynamics, I mean, the CDSL is a proxy play on the Indian equity markets. So the Indian equity markets at this moment continue to remain very strong, one of the favorable emerging markets across the globe. And as you can see, the overall EPS, buyer demand, and even I feel the fund holding for the stock would have been increasing as well. So let's be patient. Let the stock rebound from certain key moving averages. Let it reclaim them back. If the stock comes back to the ideal buy zone, definitely can be a good stock to watch out for. But till that point in time, there is no recommendation for the stock at this point. The next can be HDFC Bank. Thank you. The stock is forming a consolidation base, but as you can see, this base is very uh, wide. I mean, in terms of at this moment, and overall, the ratings for the stock has also been deteriorating all the while. As you can see, price strength is 15, buyer demand at D plus. So it's not able to probably break out very strongly. In the past, I mean, all the bases that you're seeing, whenever the stock tried to break out, it failed on the day itself, and then it tried to move lower. And this time, uh, the stock is probably trading at its lowest levels at this moment. It probably reclaimed its 50 DMA at this moment, but still, if you look at certain other banking stocks at this moment, even in the private banking space, there are other stocks that are probably doing better than HDFC Bank at this moment. So, considering the legacy, considering all the fundamentals at this moment, but I mean, the price strength for this stock is probably lacking at this moment. and that is what makes an avoid. Someone who would have made an entry into the stock should have exited by this time now. Early entry such as reclaim of 50 DMA or 200 DMA in this stock is probably not advised just because of lack of price strength and very high distribution at this moment. The next can be deep industries. Thank you. So the stock is trading in the ideal buy zone, but can I see the market cap and the fund holding? Yeah, relatively smaller market cap at this moment. Probably what is leading to the rally at this moment is look at the last 3 quarter results for the stock, which has been good. And overall, if you see, last 4 to 5 days for the stock have been very good. RS line is kind of hitting new highs at this moment, just waiting to hit new highs. Good accumulation in the stock going forward. So the stock is in the business of power generation and distribution, and these are the kind of stock in terms of power distribution and generation have been doing very well. And so someone who probably had bought the stock on breakout can continue to hold. As you can see, the stock is still in the ideal buy zone. So that's not an issue. Keep the 7 to 8% stop loss, which is usually there. And fund holding is, I mean, it's slightly above that uh, benchmark that, I mean, the bare minimum benchmark that we try to keep, that is 10. And so it's still there, but I mean, going forward, I mean, it's still want a little bit of market cap cushion going forward because fund holding, that is the institutional holding or the I factor is that is the my only concern with the stock at this moment. That has not yet been properly built up. Once that starts to build up, maybe when the even the market cap of the stock increases probably to a level more, then can definitely be a good stock to watch out for. But at this moment as well, someone who would have bought it can continue to hold till that 7 to 8% stop loss get hit, or can trail the stop losses with 21 DMA.
Thanks, Lokar. I'll take quick queries now. I'll start with BSC. BSC, Bombay. As you can see, the stock is forming a very good base pattern. It is currently just 3% to the pivot, and it is a stage one base as it highlighted by Rushit. You can see the details of the base pattern. During base formation, the volumes have also come down, especially on the left side of the base, which is a very positive sign. And during the right side of the base, the volumes have increased a couple of more than 3 to 4 blue towers on above average volumes. And also stock reclaimed its key moving averages during that phase, which is highlighted. So that is one of the key parameter when you are looking for a ideal base formation. And coming to the ratings, most of the ratings are very good, especially like all the ratings are looking very good. EPS price strength both are at 96, belonging to top category. Everybody rating is also belonging to top category at A. Other parameters like number of funds has also increased more than 56% in the last quarter, exceptional increase in terms of the number of funds as well. So that indicates a very good accumulation for the stock from the institutional investors, which is very much required for any stock to have a good support in terms of turbulent times. Overall, it is looking very good on cancel methodology. It is still 3% to the pivot, and also the market is also looking very good as in the opening remarks. My colleague Rashid has pointed out. Nifty missed new all-time high by just 10 points. So when the Nifty makes a new all-time high in the coming week, we'll change the market status to confirm the trend. And stocks like these will definitely will be considered or will be put under by watch list. And these stocks come to the ideal buy range are definitely a very good contender for the addition. Next is Ashok Leyland. It is forming a very long consolidation base pattern. I think it's a stage one consolidation base pattern. Uh, Recently, it has bottomed out around 150 rupees and it tried to advance higher. Still, 200 EMA has to be reclaimed by the stock. 50 EMA has been reclaimed in the today's session. I think it's just around that level, but 200 EMA is still to be reclaimed. Price strength has beaten down to 33 because of stocks underperformance. For the last 6 7 months, it has been consolidating or trading in a range of 160 to 170 80 range. The market has moved or made new all-time highs, except both broader market indices and benchmark indices. That is the reason the stock has a lower rating at 33. EPS is fair enough at 68, but we would like to see that number also improving. Um, Overall, given that RS is at lower and still a long way to go for the breakout, I think it's not wise to look at stocks like these for investment. And you can consider other stocks because the market is moving on the positive side. You will find lots of ample of stocks which are forming right side of the base from a basis and also giving good ideal buy points. Next is IRCTC. IRCTC has been forming a consolidation base pattern. You can see here it's a stage two consolidation base. Currently, it is trading in a very narrow range. I think 50 DM is acting as a slight resistance. It is not able to reclaim 50 DM. And also, the volume has come down in the last couple of weeks. So, if the volume increases and stock reclaims its 50 DM, definitely it will come to the ideal buy range, 6% to the pivot. Uh, First, it needs to reclaim its 50 DM and higher volume. Then it might find momentum given the market dynamics. But until then, it's better to wait for this stock as well. Ratings wise, EPS is very good at 63. RS is slightly on the fair. You could say it's a fair rating at 66. But when it breaks out, definitely it's going to increase to around 75 level. A by D rating is very good at A plus, indicating strong accumulation for the stock. Whenever the stock moved higher, it moved with volumes. That is the reason A by D is looking very good. But as mentioned, it needs to reclaim its 50 DM and also break out from its base pattern before adding.
Thanks, Raj. I will take few queries. One is on Mankind Pharma. Yeah, this gave a very good breakout in the yesterday's session. Even the previous session on Tuesday also, the volume was excellent. Like there was a very high volume. There was some block deal, if I'm not wrong, in this one. So this stock, you know, is very good on all the canceling parameters. If you look at the growth in the EPS, it has been excellent growth in the EPS. The way the sales growth has been over here, the fund holding is superb. So no two ways about that. Good ratings over here. Okay. Even the return on equity is fine. So this is a good candidate to be the part of your portfolio after doing your own research and from after the advice of your investment advisor. Broadly, according to O'Neill methodology, the stock is very close to its buy zone. After a breakout yesterday, it failed to move higher in the today's session. It was a bit extended from the key moving averages, but I think the ideal buy zone over here will be from 2298. That is 0 to 5% from this green dashed line. So if you can see this line, this is the pivot. So 0 to 5% from the pivot is the ideal buy zone. And I think the stock matches all the canceling criteria. If you are already holding the stock, uh, good time to hold it. Okay, and if you want to go for the fresh addition, then the stock should be in the ideal buy range on the higher volume. Okay, the next one we can consider is BDL, Bharat Dynamics Limited. So over here also very good setup. If you look at the weekly front, The growth has been excellent. Okay, especially the last few years. I think after you see the 2022 and 2023, there was a very strong momentum in the stock right from the 400, 500 level in 2022 and 23. The stock has hit around 2000 level. Uh, Very good winning streak from the October 23 low. If you consider 900 was the low, and in a short time, like but this in just 5 months, it hit the 2000 mark. That has been really good. So now it is consolidating. This is the fourth week of consolidation. So if the stock reclaims its 50 DMA, which it did yesterday, but on a relatively lower volume. So now what you want is some more momentum from here. And if you're already holding the stock, then you can have this recent lows as a stop loss. ये जो 1500-1600 के आसपास लो बना था उसको stop loss लगा के बाकी fresh buy के लिए you need to wait for some good rebound from over here. If the in the next week or the coming week, if stock rebounds around 1800 के around आता है और volume high होता है, ठीक है, 50 DMA rebound on a higher volume is a good time to take the fresh entry in any particular stock. Again, next we can look as Relaxo. So this made a 52-week low yesterday. The volume was also high while the stock was falling, but I think there was some sharp recovery in today's session. If you look at the earnings and the sales growth, that has been quite stable. The fund holding has been quite stable, but the ratings are very poor. If you look at the price trend, the buyer demand group rank, everything is poor. Not an ideal time to go behind this stock, as Raj was telling. That there are multiple ideas in a very good zone near the breakout and making fresh highs, multiple highs in a week. So I think we need to wait for like 1 or 2 quarter. It report good number, it forms a good base. That's when. So we are not someone who try to catch the bottom or catch the falling knife. So we are comfortable buying at a fresh high, at a 52-week high. When the stock breaks out well from its base, that's the time that we go behind the stock. And we have got some excellent result, following that methodology designed by the O'Neill. So you need to wait over here in the Relaxo footwear.
Thanks, Sushit. Wakare. I'll take some queries. Is Century Textiles done? You mean Century Textiles, ICICI Securities, then Aegis Chem. Yes, so rightly pointed out by someone who's probably posted the query. Good After good consolidation, base on base pattern, the stock has finally broken out. If you look at the last couple of sessions, the stock has accumulated well as well. And similarly, the stock has hit a blue dot line, which means that the RS line has hit new high. Fund holding at the moment is stable. Last quarter result was kind of a rebound for the company. So looks like in terms of the fundamentals as well, probably the company is getting back on track. Someone who's bought the stock at the breakout can continue to hold as overall, I mean, the ratings look good. Fundamentals have started to rebound. We would have wanted at least 3 quarters of improving result. I mean, according to our O'Neill strategy. But if someone has bought it, can continue to hold, keeping the standard 7 to 8% stop loss. And the stock makes fresher highs, then probably can have a look at the 21 DMA as well for the trailing stop loss. Overall, at this moment, uh, the pattern looks good. I mean, the last couple of breakouts is just that the stock wasn't able to break out successfully. I mean, from the ascending base as well. And every time it tried to break out, it came down. And that is the only fear. I mean, if markets probably come back under pressure, then there can be some kind of issue. But considering even Nifty probably trying to make a new high today, just missed out, and overall distribution day count under some control, broader markets probably rebounding back, not hitting fresh highs, but rebounding back is also a good move. I mean, if markets remain supportive, probably stock can have a good run, but keep your rules in place in terms of the 7 to 8% stop loss, and keep an eye on the key moving averages as well. Uh, the next I can look at is ICICI Securities, then Aegis Chem. Just a second. So after good run up after the breakout, as one can see, in the last few days there has been good selling pressure with the stock. Uh, some high distribution as well. That is why you can see buyer demand for the stock weakening over even the price or the RS rating or the RS line as well coming down, which is not a good sign. There was heavy selling pressure. So when probably the 50 DMA got breached on above average volumes, one should have exited out. At this moment, I feel people should have exited or at least booked down the profits one would have bought at the previous breakout. Considering new entry into the stock at this moment is seriously not favorable. Fundamentals continue to remain good in terms of historical fundamentals, and in terms of fund holding for the stock is also improving. So even today's session, as you can see, there was some faggot buying into the stock, but still the stock closed lower on above average volume. So looks like a distribution in the stock at this moment in the last few days as well. So let the 21 DMA, 50 DMA get reclaimed, and look at how the stock reclaims the 50 DMA. By that time, if the RS line moves higher, buyer demand improves, and if 50 DMA is reclaimed on above a moving key average, probably someone with an aggressive mindset can then have a look at this stock. If looking at purely from an O'Neill point of view, let probably would we want the stock to make a new fresh base. Once the fresh base gets made and there is some signs of accumulation, overall ratings improve, then probably can have a look at this stock. Next will be Aegis Logistics. So looks like a re-breakout candidate at this moment, as one can see, but would have been very difficult to catch it because it broke out almost from the near the pivot. I mean, the open was very close to the pivot, and considering the moment, it would have been very difficult to buy. And at this moment is 12% from pivot. That means that it's already away from the ideal buy zone, and I mean, last couple of quarter result have not been that good for the stock, as you can see, and that is why probably the EPS strength for the stock is probably coming down. Overall, if you look at the chart pattern formation, it has been very volatile. There has been no proper uptrend in this stock. I mean, whenever we say that, okay, ideally, what do you want? That from a stage one base, the stock rallies 20-30%, then makes another stage two base, then rallies, then make. So at this moment, it has been very volatile, trading in that narrow range. More like bottom fishing has been happening around 200, 250 levels, where probably around those levels uh, people buy that stock and around the 450, 500, 450, 470 levels, again selling comes back. So even at this moment, reclaim of this recent high of 471, that is making a fresh new high for this stock becomes really important. Till that time, that 472 does not get crossed and does not get crossed on good volumes, I mean, there can be some kind of selling pressure in this stock. Someone who has bought this stock, I mean, can continue to hold because today's action was very, very strong, and can trail it with your 21 DMA as a stop loss level.
Thanks, Okan. I will take few queries now.
Thank you.
I'll start with Bajaj Finance and then a few other queries. For the last 1 or 2 weeks, the stock has been moving higher, but even though the amount of gains were on slightly on the lower side, but Still, it continuously rallied for more than 6-7 trading sessions. In the today's session, it tried to reclaim its 200 DMA. I think it's slightly closed around that level as well. And also, there was one news article in the related to Bajaj Finance as well. It's a housing finance arm is going to be listed on the exchanges. So that is the reason, one of the reasons the stock was one of the top gainer in the Nifty index during the around afternoon. It was one of the top gainer in the Nifty index. It contributed to the overall gain of the Nifty as well. On the closing basis, it slightly came down and it closed 3% higher in the today's session. But talking about its chart pattern, it is still 8% to the pivot, as it can see here. RS rating is on the lower side at 32. We need to see improvement in that rating as well. EPS strength is good at 89. Other ratings are looking good. Number of funds is also good. Only concern is RS is slightly lower and it is still 8% below pivot. You can wait and see how the stock behaves when it comes towards pivot. But it can, but it's better to wait until then and look for other stocks which are breaking out from their base patterns. Next is the Angel one. This is also slightly similar to the previous stock, that is Bajaj Finance. It is forming a double bottom base pattern and it is trading very near to its 50 DMA. It is still 12% to the pivot. Ratings are slightly good when compared to the Bajaj Finance. EPS is very good at 94. Price strength is at almost 80 and it is improving. Line is increasing or moving higher, you can see. By the time it breaks out from the base pattern, definitely RS rating will improve and also it might form blue dots as well. So when it breaks out, it's definitely going to be a very good contender for the addition. A number of funds have also improved almost 50% in the last quarter, a very good increase on that front as well. Return on equity is at 42%. It's almost very, I think it's one of the top company which has highest ROE. Very good in terms of fundamentals. Both EPS and ROE are looking very good. Technicals are also looking very good and also improving. So wait for the stock to break out, and if it breaks out and with good volume, definitely consider this stock for addition. I think next is BDL.
Yeah, Bharat Dynamics is done already.
Okay. What else is remaining? Relaxo, is it done?
Yes, that is done.
I think
JSW Energy maybe.
yeah, sure. At present, it is not forming any base pattern. It has broken out in I think around December month. From there, it is moved higher, but during this moment, it held its 21 and 50 DMA. 50 DMA has been tested recently and it has been reclaimed also. But it is 15%, 17% extended to the pivot. We would like to see the stock forming a new base pattern before considering for addition. Ratings wise, ratings are looking very good, still intact. EPS is at 88, price strength 80, and AYD rating is also good at A minus. So ratings wise, it is still intact. I think if you have taken any position in this stock, you can keep a stop loss around 50 DMA, which acted as good support recently, and you can continue to hold it. But if you are looking for fresh addition, now is not the right time in this particular stock.
Yeah, thanks, Raj. I will take few queries. There's one on Dixon Tech. Just a clear disclaimer that the Dixon Tech is the part of our model portfolio. Okay, so here it has a very good ratings. If you can see, it got a good breakout from a stage to flat base. From there, it went higher. It's almost up 10% from the pivot. It is forming the blue dot. It has a very good RS rating. Overall, if you look at the business, like the way the electronics manufacturing, the government is promoting, the demand in the local products in India is increasing. So Dixon is one of the top player. Like it makes a lot of things, the TVs, the mobiles, the internet router, सब कुछ बना लेता है ये. And the demand is very high. The way the internet penetration इंडिया में चल रहा है उसके लिए राउटर चाहिए, जो टीवीज लोकल बन रहे हैं पैनल चाहिए. Okay, the mobile phone manufacturing that is coming to India, like we will be the next big mobile manufacturing hub. That's what the government is doing. The PLI scheme, the Make in India, जो government schemes है उसके सारे benefits जो इनको मिल रहा है, and that's what clearly getting reflected in the stock price. The stock is trading near the fresh high. New entry according to O'Neill method is not suggested over here. If someone is holding the stock, then I think 21 and 50 DMA. These two levels should be used as a stop loss for Dixon. जनरली ये 50 डीएमए को कट नहीं करता है तो भी 1-2% ऊपर नीचे होता है, लो वॉल्यूम पे करता है. सो 50 डीएमए बिकम्स वेरी क्रूशियल इफ यू आर अ लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टर, और ये 4-5% हायर वॉल्यूम पे 50 डीएमए के नीचे जाता है, देन यू शुड बी very careful, especially if the RS rating and all is reducing. Next we can take is Patanjali. The stock is trading below its 200 DMA. Even the fundamentals are not that consistent. Okay, and if you look at the volume in the selling, that is also high. So not major positives over here. As I discussed in the first half only, that the rural demand is not that robust, and I think Patanjali has a lot of hold in the rural market. And so if there is no major rebound in the rural market, Patanjali Foods might take some time to recover further. Broadly, trading below key moving averages in such a good market, time to give this one a little break, focus on the other one. If you are already holding the stock, then it is below 200 DMA, need to be very careful. You can cut losses, book profit, whatever, or you can use this 1281 recent low as a stop loss. On the flip side, if you want to add the position, then wait for some time. एटलीस्ट 1500 तक वेट करो, 1525-30 तक. ये 50 डीएम है, नीचे आ रहा है 50 डीएम है, क्या पता 2 हफ्ते बाद ये 1450 भी हो जाए 50 डीएम है. सो एटलीस्ट वेट फॉर 50 डीएम रिक्लेम or 50 DMA to turn higher. So that's a good strategy as of now. If you look at Tata Steel, one question is on this one. So these are the stocks like doing well in this market. Okay, not a great fundamental improvement, but broadly it is profit overall. जो profit है वो बढ़ रहा है, धीरे धीरे realizations बढ़ रहा है, debt कम हो रहा है. 50 DM है very good support. 21% extended from the last base जो कि नवंबर में ब्रेकआउट हुआ था. सो ओनिल मेथड के मुताबिक फ्रेश एंट्री सजेस्ट नहीं करते हैं हम इसमें, बट इफ यू आर होल्डिंग द स्टॉक देन यूज 50 डीएम एज अ स्टॉप लॉस. देखो मल्टीपल टाइम्स वहां से ये रिबाउंड हुआ है, ठीक है, इन द रीसेंट टाइम्स ओनली. सो इफ दिस रेड लाइन यहाँ पे ब्रीच होता है 1-2% हायर वॉल्यूम में, देन यू शुड बी वेरी केयरफुल विद द स्टॉक. फ्रेश एंट्री अभी नहीं लेने का है, या तो ये नया बेस बना है यहाँ पे, अदरवाइज ये थोड़ा पुल बैक होके 50 डी में तक आके फिर से रिबाउंड हो जाए. दैट इज द टाइम व्हेन यू शुड टेक फ्रेश एंट्री. जस्ट फॉर एग्जांपल लाइक दिस, जैसे कि ये पुल बैक आया, ठीक है, अभी यहाँ से 50 डीएम पे रिबाउंड हुआ बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग, वॉल्यूम भी हाई. दिस वाज द पॉइंट टू एंटर अगेन. ये वाला जो पॉइंट है ना 145 अराउंड, this was the time to re-enter this stock or take fresh position if you have missed it the earlier time. But अभी थोड़ा extended लग रहा है. Okay, should I take one more? Adani Power. Yeah, the stock is moving sideways. Base बना रहा है, बहुत टाइम से base बना रहा है. I think we were tracking this one, sorry, in the February, month of February. बहुत क्लोज था पिवट के, बट ऊपर नहीं भाग पाया था वहां पे, फिर से ये नीचे गिर गया, 50 DA में ब्रीच कर दिया, एंड इट कंटिन्यूड टू मेक दिस कंसोलिडेशन बेस. सो आई थिंक द वे इट हैज मेड द कंसोलिडेशन बेस इज वेरी वेरी स्ट्रांग. सो इसको रडार पे पक्का रखने गया है, जिस तरह लो वॉल्यूम पे इसने कंसोलिडेशन बेस बनाया है. ठीक है, अभी देखो वॉल्यूम बढ़ रहा है, बट देर इज नो मेजर एक्शन इन द प्राइस, सो दिस इज गुड. लाइक नीचे जब भी नीचे आता है 500 के अराउंड लोग उठा लेते हैं इसको. समवन इज बाइंग अराउंड 500 510 जोन. So the first, once it reclaim its 50 DMA, the second thing is it is 10% to pivot. So जब भी ये breakout देता है strongly on a higher volume, this can be kept on your radar. Performance काफी अच्छा है last दो quarters से especially. RO is good, fund holding is increasing. Some of the issues related to जो group level issues थे वहाँ पे भी काफी सारा sort out हो गया है. So no major negatives over here. The business is quite good. The way the power demand in India is increasing, the Adani in the renewable as well as the non-renewable space, the way they are expanding, जो उनका growth rate है वो काफी अच्छा है. So once these kind of stock break out on a higher volume, you should keep them in the radar.
Uh, Rushit, I guess no more queries are left. Probably for the first time it's happening. You can probably wrap it up with some final remarks. Is there any specific query left so which we can take? Hello.
Looks like the chat box is locked. So can someone check from the data upload team who is managing this
Is
meeting?
locked. Is locked. Okay.
Because there is no comment, no query. Something generally comes like since last half an hour. So,
Okay.
uh,
Certainly.
see, it was, yes, it was locked and suddenly locked and came. Yeah, it was locked and now it's open. Oh, sorry that.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, fine. We'll take 2 3 more.
Yes. Uh, so I'll take a couple of queries first.
Yeah, sure.
Can you give me Shriram Pistons and then Dynamic Tech? Thank you. So the stock is forming a base on base pattern at this moment, and I trading in an ideal buy zone. Stage count is also not high, around 3B, which is good. And I mean, in the last few sessions, the stock has shown some signs of accumulation, but the only issue I feel is might the stock might be in some kind of surveillance list, considering the abrupt uh, patterns it has formed. I mean, that is my only concern. And but someone would have bought the stock at breakout can continue to hold. I mean, decent market cap stock of around 8,600 crore. Fund holding is improving. I mean, very well, but base is small. But as you can see, 35% quarter on quarter growth is very good. Last couple of quarter result is also very good. ROE at 90%, 19% is also good. And the three, I mean, the overall parameters for the stock have also been very good. And considering the stock is in the ideal buy zone, someone would have bought it. It's good and can trail the 21 DMA as a stop loss going forward. And I mean, that's it. And the next can be Dynamic Tech. Dynamic Tech, no. Um, Dynamatic Tech, sorry, Dynamatic Tech. Dynamatic Tech. Yeah. So again, thanks Rushit for pointing out the stage. I mean, all the other things were fine, but if the stage count is 4, it's a complete avoid. As you know that according to the O'Neill strategy, stage count 4 or higher is considered as late stage basis and which are prone to failure, and very few stocks tend to break out from these late stage bases and are successful. And I mean, as simple as that. Let the stage count gets reset. Overall, the fundamentals and the fund holding at this moment looks good at this moment for the stock. Once the stage count gets reset, probably at that moment, can have a look at the stock.
Thanks, Akar. I'll take few quick queries and then we'll close the session. One is on DMart.
Okay.
After a breakout from a recent stage 4 base, it's a high base. The momentum is good. Not always it happens that after the stage 4 base, but the way the market is going on, like these things have become common in the recent market. Higher bases also get good response. But broadly, you should try to avoid, because once the market fall, these kind of bases fall very quickly. Avenue Supermart, really good story. The results have been consistent. The sales growth, except एकाध quarter में earnings थोड़ा weak था, but broadly it has been really good. The fund holding is really high for the stock. Base formation अच्छा था. Breakout was also clean. If you are holding the stock, you can continue to hold. Just use 21 DM as a stop loss. वो भी थोड़ा deep है. So ideally अगर 15-18% मिलता है तो थोड़ा profit book कर सकते हैं. बाकी on the downside you can watch out for the recent lows, like maybe Tuesday का low देख सकते हैं, or 21 DMA can be watched out for this stock. On the higher side, buying over here not suggested. It is already extended from the wave. Protein uh, looks very weak, but अभी लग रहा है कि यहाँ पे थोड़ा सेटल हो रहा है ये स्टॉक. सी ब्रॉडली अगर आप देखें तो आफ्टर आईपीओ द रिस्पॉन्स वाज रियली गुड. एक कप बेस बनाया, फेल हुआ. दिस इज व्हाट हैपेंस व्हेन द बेस पैटर्न फेल्स, और जब ये गिरना शुरू होता है, यू शुड बी क्विकली आउट. 7-8% पे भाग जाओ. एक बार बेस बन के टूट जाता है ना तो. And this is what has happened. There was a sharp fall and the stock was down. It's down almost 40-45% in just 2 months. Okay, so if someone is still holding from a higher level, not a good idea in this market. जल्दी निकलना चाहिए था. बट अगर आप फिर भी होल्ड कर रहे हैं तो अभी का अगर आप मोमेंटम देखें तो यहाँ पे अराउंड 950-60 या फिर 950 से 1000 के बीच में एक यहाँ पे इसको सपोर्ट मिल रहा है. ठीक है, यू कैन वॉच आउट फॉर दीज लेवल्स. एटलीस्ट ये 965 का जो यहाँ पे लो बना था मार्च में, यू कैन कंसिडर दिस एज अ स्टॉप लॉस. बिकॉज एक अच्छी बात अभी क्या दिखी पता है, लास्ट कुछ सेशंस से देखो वॉल्यूम्स ऊपर आ रहे हैं. ठीक है, क्लोजिंग कुछ इतना मोमेंटम नहीं आ रहा है. 1000 के अराउंड क्लोज आता है डेली. सो लुक्स लाइक सम एक्यूमुलेशन इज गोइंग ऑन. जैसे ऊपर की साइड हम डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन देखते हैं ना, ठीक है, ऊपर के साइड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन देखा तो यहाँ पे देर आर सम साइंस ऑफ एक्यूमुलेशन. दो द वॉल्यूम इज हाई बट स्टॉक इज नॉट फर्दर गोइंग डाउन. तो अगर ऊपर की साइड ये ब्रेकआउट देता है देन देर आर चांसेस दैट इट माइट रिकवर एटलीस्ट अप टू 50 डीएम में. बट ऑन द फ्लिप साइड अभी रिस्क बहुत कम है डाउन साइड में. तो जो होल्ड कर रहा है तो ऑलरेडी इतना 40-45% होल्ड किया, तो होल्ड इट फॉर 4-5% मोर probably. But yeah, if it breaches this level then you should exit the stock. Okay, next the last one we can see maybe Intellect Design. A very good breakout in November, and since then it is up almost 45 to 50%. Currently holding around its 21 DMA. So if someone is holding the stock, you can continue to hold. थोड़ा profit book करना है तो कर सकते हो. Market volatile अगर हो जाए next week if you are not able to make fresh high or volatility बढ़ जाती है नीचे की side, then you may book some profit. बाकी 50 DMA is the best level to watch out. Around 990 1000 का level है. It might hold that level the way the momentum is, जिस तरह से इसमें accumulation हुआ है ना ये stock में, लाइक ज्यादा वॉल्यूम है जब भी स्टॉक ऊपर जा रहा है, जिस तरह का accumulation है, it looks like 50 DMA might give a good support because the buyer demand is good, the RS is holding, EPS strength is excellent. अगर आप रिजल्ट्स देखें वो भी अच्छे हैं, फंड होल्डिंग बढ़ रहा है. सो अगर 50 DMA पे सपोर्ट लेके रिबाउंड होता है, देन इट ऑल्सो गिव्स एन अल्टरनेट बाय पॉइंट. वहां पे आप खरीद भी सकते हो जिस तरह से यहाँ हुआ. तो दिस वॉज द अल्टरनेट बाय पॉइंट डे. ठीक है, 50 DMA के नजदीक आया, रिबाउंड मार दिया हाई वॉल्यूम पे. Something like that happens again, you can buy. If it breaches 50 DMA, ideally it's a good time to book profit or cut losses in any stock. Okay, thank you for joining the session, guys. I hope it was useful to you all. Wish that you all had a great financial year 23-4 and wish you a lot of luck for the next financial year. So see you again in the stock Durbar. Maybe the dates will be sent on the mails. But you can join us on Monday morning at 8:45 a.m. I'll be there with live on the Zoom meeting, and we will be discussing what all happened over the weekend and how the market is expected to open on the Monday and what are the key news and the triggers that you need to watch out. So you can join us Monday morning at 8:45. Till then, thank you for joining the session. Have a happy long weekend.